Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs found not guilty of the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering.
Maybe my sin is that I am a fan of my president.
Picking through inflammatory messages in the deadly July riots. The man accused of murdering 14-year-old Lukhona Fose's alibi doesn't stand up in court. And extreme weather. Heavy rains and a cold front is back on the way to the Western Cape. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
One of the people suspected of instigating the deadly July 2021 unrest has hit back at the state, saying being a supporter of former President Jacob Zuma is not a crime. Bokhadi Mapisa is accused alongside 4 others for conspiracy to incite public violence. It's alleged they were part of a WhatsApp group that circulated inflammatory messages which contributed to the unrest that killed more than 350 people. The 5 appeared at the Roodepoort Magistrates Court today.
I feel that there's a lot of injustice that is going on. The reason for me saying there's a lot of injustice going on is that myself, when the public violence that I'm accused of started, I was at work. I am a nurse by profession. I was at work. Even if they want, they can go and check my register. I have signed in and out of work. So I do not know why am I charged of something that I did not do. I know nothing of this. Maybe my sin is that I am a fan of my president, Jacob Zuma.
Mduduzi Mnisi's alibi is in question in the Roodepoort Magistrates Court. Mnisi, who faces a charge of premeditated murder, is currently applying for bail. He's accused of murdering 14-year-old Lukhona Fose, whose body was found in Durban Deep in June this year. She was last seen on the 31st of May. Mnisi's girlfriend, Pinky Hanso, is currently testifying. Mnisi had previously told the court that he was in Daveyton at 11 o'clock on the day Fose went missing, but his girlfriend delivered a different account.
During last proceedings, Mnisi told the court that on the 31st of May, that Saturday, Lukhona Fose went missing. He was in Daveyton at 11 a.m. However, his girlfriend, Pinky Ganzo, told the court this morning that he was still in Durban Deep during that time. She did say he did come back that evening and claimed to have slept over at her place. When the state prosecutor in the case asked Ganzo if she had known Lukhona Fose, she also claimed, just like Mnisi, to not have known the child. When Ganzo was further asked about who saw Mnisi the following day, on Sunday morning, the day Lukhona Fose's body was found in an open field, mutilated, she said that they were with her sister and her neighbor called Annalisa. Ganzo claims that that morning, Annalisa came to inform them that the community had just found a body of a teenager and if they had known about it. Ganzo said they did not know about it, and Annalisa proceeded to join them and stayed with them in the house that Sunday morning. The state claims that in Annalisa's statement, he says that he went to inform Mnisi and Ganzo that a body of a child had just been discovered in the community, and then he left them and went to check with the community where that body was. When asked if that statement by Annalisa was true or false, Ganzo confirmed that the statement was indeed true. Mnisi also told the court that there is evidence proving that he was not with the child on the day she disappeared. He claims that there is video footage from a house nearby in the community of Durban Deep, as well as video footage when he was in Daveyton at McDonald's meeting with friends. When the investigating officer in charge of the matter was asked about these video footages, he claims that the one from the house in the street was with forensics currently and is undergoing investigation. However, he claims that the video footage from outside McDonald's in Daveyton he could not obtain. The matter has been postponed to the 9th of July. Thandel Hlengcobo, Eyewitness News.
As the Western Cape braces for another storm, ongoing relief efforts are underway relating to flooding caused by recent heavy rains. After 2 days of torrential rain last week, informal settlements across the Western Cape were severely impacted. More than 500 people in Middelpost were also left stranded after heavy rains hit Saldanha Bay. Gift of the Givers says about 5,000 hot meals and 2,500 blankets, bottled water and baby care packs have been distributed to affected areas.
Communities in Saldanha Bay and surrounding areas can count on support both from the local municipality as well as the Western Cape government during this period of inclement weather.
Former Secretary to Eastern Cape Judge President Selby Ben has disputed the allegation that the top judge tried to expose his manhood to High Court Secretary Andiswa Mengo in November 2022. Zinhle Ngai is testifying before the Judicial Conduct Tribunal sitting in Sandton, where she is being probed on the events of the 14th of November 2022. Mengo, who accuses Benenge of making unwanted sexual advances towards her between 2021 and 2022, alleged that the judge president requested that she perform a sexual act on him on the day in question. Ngai is the first witness to be called in defense of the judge who denies the allegation.
High Court Secretary Andiswa Mengo in January testified that Eastern Cape Judge President Selby Ben summoned her to his chambers on the afternoon of the 14th of November 2022, pointed her attention to his pants and asked her to perform a sexual act on him. But the senior judge's secretary Zinhle Ngai has a different version of events.
He came back, if I were to estimate, at about 3:30. He mentioned that at the place where he went to have lunch, he discovered that his bank card had a problem. Then he thereafter decided to proceed straight to the bank. Then at about, 4:15, the time has now come where he had to now proceed to the lecture.
Mengo earlier alleged that Ngai left the court building before her on the day. However, looking at the court register before the tribunal, Ngai says Mengo left at 4:30 p.m., while the register indicates that she left around 4:41. Zoleka Kodashe, Eyewitness News, Sandton in Johannesburg.
So the final leg of the national budget process could hit another snag over the DA's plans to boycott the budgets of at least two departments presided over by compromised ministers. Parliamentary legal opinion suggests that the appropriation bill can only be passed if all departmental votes have been agreed to. If the DA follows through with this threat, it means the ANC might again have to shop around for votes to ensure the bill crosses the line when it's put to the vote in 3 weeks' time. This also comes after Minister Thembi Simelani's criminal investigation following the charges laid by the DA. The party claims she's incapable of overseeing a 33 billion rand budget. The South African Social Security Agency has threatened to suspend grant payments to beneficiaries who fail to disclose all sources of income. About a month ago, SASSA had identified close to 210,000 grant recipients who didn't communicate their earnings. The agency says they are still reviewing beneficiaries suspected of having alternative sources of income.
As we begin the payment cycle for July, SASSA would like to advise that the review of social grants for targeted beneficiaries will continue. If you are a SASSA beneficiary and you did not receive your payment this month or the previous months, we appeal to you to visit your nearest SASSA local office to update your personal details.
US President Donald Trump says Israel has agreed to necessary conditions to finalize a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza and urged Hamas to accept the proposal. Trump's announcement comes after talks between his envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Israeli Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer at the White House. Hamas has called for guarantees for any temporary truce to lead to an end to Israel's war and the withdrawal of all Israeli troops from Gaza. Israel has refused to provide such a commitment, and it has abandoned the three-phase ceasefire deal agreed to in January and resumed its attacks. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been found not guilty of racketeering and not guilty of sex trafficking ex-partner Cassandra Ventura and another woman referred to as Jane. The jury did find him guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution relating to both women, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. The trial heard from 34 witnesses over nearly 2 months, including ex-girlfriends, former employees of Combs, male escorts, and federal agents. The alleged crimes included forced labor, drug distribution, kidnapping, bribery, witness tampering, and obstruction and arson. Combs denied all charges. I will leave you with that. Don't forget to download the EWN app.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.